based on where fuel is going and the volatility of the world, I would say make a deposit. Once again, don't forget, Robert, don't do it without making sure they confirm in writing that money is in a third-party escrow account. You have to have it.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Anytime, Robert. Appreciate the call.
Okay.
And once again, Robert's case is not an isolated one. So many people are now confronting the somewhat confusing idea of, should we put down a deposit now? Given all the uncertainty in the world and prices may be going up. The one thing that's certain, prices are always going to go up. So if the load factors don't materialize, guess what happens? Prices come down. So be prepared to jump at those moments. You just got to be, situationally aware, but don't wait. Back with more as Ion Travel continues from the Marinara Resort right here in National Palace, California. Right after this.
Please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened. Ion Travel will be right back.
Hey, I didn't know it's up here. Hey, I didn't think I was off the street. Oh, girl, what's wrong? Jury Television has you just streamers right now. DTV, way ahead of you. Just hit up DTV.com yesterday for the cutest favorite earrings, cheaper, safer, and this gorgeous programming.
New customers get $20 off any purchase of $99 or more at DTV.com.
And this perfect bracelet, just a couple things, huh? Maybe more than a couple. Team Lord IRS to make people break out in cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is legal tax defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS. It doesn't matter how much you owe, $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that's legal tax defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to pay. They can present letters, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about legal tax defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or ruin your tax loss. Call legal tax defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-265-7661. 800-265-7661. You have nothing to lose, but everything to gain. 800-265-7661.
Right here in my pocket. Do I need to get that? The moving mountain. Always felt powerful and Carpal tunnel syndrome. Heart failure that doesn't include the common medicine. These are some signs and symptoms associated with fainting heart or the cardiomyopathy or ATTR amyloidosis. A serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Sambuca, who treats it, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and surgery visits. In a clinical study, Sambuca is proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Sambuca is overseen by a vitamin C in the blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms and legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Sambuca. For prescribing information, call 1-833-356-3748 or learn more at Sambuca.com. Ask your doctor about Sambuca for ATTR-CM. Now, back to Ion Travel.
We're back with you as Ion Travel continues from Rancho California to California at the Marinara Resort. Of course, you can always be tuning in the drill. Email me, peter@greenberg.com is the main phone number. Question or problem, we'll solve it right here on the other side of the show we do. As I said at the beginning of the show, my history of this hotel goes way back before it was a hotel. And my mom brought me there when I was 7 years old. It's been called Marineland of the Pacific. Someone knows that history very well. He's the president of Marinara Resort. York. He's back with me again. Ralph Trippo, how are you? Hey, Peter, great to see you again. So, two things I remember vivid about what this used to be, right, was Marineland in the Pacific. It was the first time I'd seen the Pacific Olympics. I came in from New York at 7 years old, see my grandparents, and I was brought down here. And then the second, it was wonderful to see it. I'd never seen a dolphin before. And then the second thing I remember so vividly was on television. All those years, Roy Bridges series called Sea Hunt, playing Mike Nelson, right? Always fighting and cutting his air hose underwater in every episode. That's right. Right? That was about it. Well, you come a long way from that. I mean, this is now, how old is Terranea now? We're coming on 17 years. Wow. And I remember the day you opened. Same great view of the Pacific Ocean. Still. Yeah. You got the history here as well. Yeah, I mean, you still celebrate Mike Nelson. We do. Absolutely. I know. Come down and join us. Do I get to put the air hose? We took out the air hoses. Yeah, so you can ring the bell. There is a bell. There's a bell, and you see the whales and the dolphins pass by, and everybody's down there ringing the bell. I love that. Yeah. Well, because remember, the reason why they built Marineland at the beginning is because of proximity to the ocean and the marine life. So it's still here. It's magic. I mean, it's a magical location to be this close and to be literally on top of the ocean. Whales passing by, especially this time of year, dolphins here every day. So we're blessed to be here, and we're very committed to the coast and doing all the right things for the marine life. When this hotel was built, obviously the whole house, the Marineland itself has been abandoned for many years, literally abandoned, right? Then you had to deal with all the environmental issues, all the design issues, coastal commission, you name it. But you had to build it so that it was basically in compliance with the environment. Yeah, we're blessed to period. You could build a place like this on the California coast. I don't know if it'll ever be built again or anything like this on the coast. But the beauty of that was we protected a lot of the environment, both on land and the water. So we had a lot of open space, tremendous amount of open space. A lot of green space, a lot of natural space that is next to the natural habitat, whether it's around the Gulf Coast, which is an natural window, and along the coast with our walking trails that are taking you up and down the coast, up to the lighthouse, and all the way down close to the beach along this side. Alberta Lighthouse. Okay, yeah. Half mile up the street. And if you're sailing from, let's say, Marina Del Rey, and you're heading down to San Diego, you pass right by the hotel. We wave to you every day. We queue up the sailboats, and you sailboat from right to left, and just passing by, and the guests just love it. And of course, you have the proximity of the water. You get in the water from here, too. Absolutely. We have the beach shows that we have paddling and kayaking that takes place right here on property, and music kind of going in the background. Of course, one cautionary note, let's be cold. It's a little chilly. It's a little chilly, especially this time of year. Yeah, it's still worth it. Absolutely. So, let's talk about what's changing here. What are you doing now that you never did before in terms of stuff to say? So, one thing that we're excited about is just the place in October. We're now a complete independent collection resort. So we were part of Poultry, managed by Poultry, but we're self-managed. So, I have to talk to myself a lot. You lose the argument with yourself? I win a few, I lose a few, but we do as a team in a collaborative way where we can do, and the beauty of all that is, we can do the change of the brand sometimes not allowed to do because of the bureaucracy that exists in some of the large organizations. So it's really up to us to what we do, personalize experiences, create emotional engagement, connect with the customer, build relationships. I don't worry about a Terranea brand around the world, around the globe. I want to think about the guests that come here to our party. I know it's going to be a little inside baseball for my audience, but I'm going to give you two words that usually drives most football general managers nuts. Ready? I'm ready. I'll sit down. And the reason for that, you might. I'm ready. You just got it. We have a great ownership team. Same people that own Terranea to build this building. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, somebody says, this costs too much to that deal. We're not realizing it's worth. But we think of those in our ownership team, as part of that ownership team, as investments in our future, rather than saving a few nickels and dimes to save a P&L today. So I think about every experience that happens today. I could save some things, I could take some flowers away, I could take some staff away, save a few dollars today, but that guest experience for guests coming today, it may impede them in the future. And the guests know it. 100%. And that's the key. We're talking to Ralph Trippo, the president of Terranea Resort right here in National Palace, British California. When we come back, let's talk about the business in general and what you need to know as travelers especially in this crazy world we're living in right now. Back with more from the Caravan Resort in Rancho Palos Verdes as Eye on Travel continues right after this.
Your flight might be late, but we're on time. Eye on Travel will be right back. Let's head to LAX and check out Sepulveda. There's a ton of road work there overnight, and a stall we're hearing about. This is both sides, northbound from the 105 to Century, southbound Lincoln to Century, 2 or 3 lanes each way. The stall is being reported east 105 heading east of Sepulveda, so there's some activity there. Might be closer to the 405. There's no major road work in that area heading further east on the 105 out to the 110. Everything was fine there in both directions without issue. In Riverside, I believe they're going to reopen the 215, which has been a deadly crash investigation near Eucalyptus. But they were talking to CHP about picking up all the cones there, so you figure getting through or able to heading north of Cactus. Check out really reliable traffic every 10 minutes on the 5 from the KNX News 24-hour traffic center.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of pay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
Otherwise, 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistake? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonable good health, a $1 million policy could only cost about $100 to $200 a month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you. He's only on number 2. Call Term Provider. 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou. 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898. To Ion Travel with Peter Greenberg. Visit our website, www.petergreenberg.com for more information. And sign up for our newsletter. Ion Travel is a CBS Audio Network production.
Peter Greenberg, that was well, the photo president of the Caravan Resort. Well, right before the break, we started talking about hotels that have asset managers and are managed based on cost versus value, which to me is, I think, self-defeating in the long run, self-defeating in the short run. But what I see in the industry itself these days, and by the way, it's not just hotels, airlines, rental car companies, just anybody in the travel service industry, it's all being run by CFO mentality. And that to me is a little scary, because at one point they're pushing loyalty programs, which aren't loyalty programs at all, they're spend programs. And whatever loyalty there is transactional, which means transactional loyalty is not loyalty. It reminds you of the line with multi-billionaire line on the beach, with 26-year-old gold digger girlfriend, and he says to her, honey, if I told you tomorrow all my companies would belly up, I had no money, I was penniless, we had to get rid of the house in San Jose, there was no beach house in Malibu, there was no vacation home in Hawaii, all the Bentleys and the Rolls Royces were gone, they had to meet our Beverly Hills to small assassin's apartment in the desert, would you still love me? She sits up on the beach and goes, oh yes, darling, but I used to tell. And, you know, and that's the reality. So how do you do it? Really long-term hospitality.
we're on the transaction. We're all going to cook, clean, park cars just like everybody else. But we're not run by Wall Street. We're not run by the big organizations. We're DC Jackals or so it's just us. It's our own, we're privately held, and as a true independent, then we can do what we need to do for our associates first, to take care of our people, we're great to pay, and the events that we have, 20 appreciation on Friday for all of our associates, all these types of activities and events that treat their associates, make them happy, they smile, they come back tomorrow and do great things for our guests, and they're happier, they come back more often. We personalize, we engage, we build a relationship through experience, not point. And so that's what we believe drives our customers to come back to loyalty, because of hospitality to service, not the transactional experience.
I actually believe we've reached an inflection point when you talk about points and frequent flyer miles, where people are obsessively and perhaps delusionally pursuing miles or points in the hope of redemption. And the redemption levels continue to rise stratospherically. So it's the impossible dream, right? The hotels that make the most sense to me are the ones that are keeping them up and are going to
I'd rather invest in what you would like personally as an individual than the place that you may use somewhere at some time. And then it also blurs the experience for others, because I could be accumulating points and always be staying at a courtyard, and the next thing I know I show up at a luxury Ritz-Carlton or another brand, and I'm blurring my customers that maybe don't all speak to each other all the time. Where customers that come here look for an experience that we create, again, a connection, more than just a few points. It's through how we make them feel.
And you see, when you blur the customers, it reminds me of NOCD.
Mm-hmm.
You know what NOCD is?
Yep. It's true, but it's a reality. If you want to buy a car or give it a ticket, it's really to buy something that's special. It's not meant to be combined with Target. Just because it may be jewelry, it may be a car, but if I'm going to buy a Bentley, I'm not going to be used for anything.
And by the way, the picture is going to show up a Target, Tiffany's they're back. And that brings up our next point. Anytime a traveler seems to be having a crisis or in trouble, and there's two things happening now with a number of foreign visitors dropping particularly in the United States, now the situation moves to resolve similar situations. I don't think the travel industry has learned a lesson, because they think that when something like that happens, they can discount their way out of it. I don't think they can.
No, we're not. Again, we're not into discounts. We're into finding ways to look for a luxury experience in an environment like this that is unique. And again, not transactional experience. And it's different. It's used to go back to what it used to be. Back in the old days when we used to see each other with this culture. Back then, that's what it was about culture and not just a transaction. You think about, what you said about. You can all go to Amazon and push the button and have things show up on the doorstep. But how does it make you feel? And those are still memories, those are still experiences, those are still things that you create for people that can't be bought online.
Right. So basically, we move away from what used to be done just as expedient, and we have a conversation. And that's the difference.
Absolutely. Because it touches you in a way that isn't just transactional. And you build a relationship, next thing you know, you say, I want to come back because of Julie at the front desk. And I like coming here because of Amanda at Nelson. And it becomes pretty close like an environment of family than it is of just a stay with a room and a bed and all that transaction things.
So what you're really doing is you're going back to the future of old school hospitality.
It still works. We're still human until we're all AI and robots, and that day maybe a different day, but today,
So that's
today is going to see the fish and ginger ale, and I'm happy.
don't trust me.
With the ginger ale.
I'm still busted, don't worry. But you mentioned AI. That day is already here, right? So how do you manage that?
I think it becomes a resource and a tool to help us.
Especially
Back office or to reach customers and the like, that those that may use it to do so, but it's still, AI is not cooking food, AI is not parking a car, AI is not making the bed. That's still a human being that still does that with heart, and to create those moments along the way while they're doing it, whether it's recognizing you and saying your name and escorting you, and or finding that you read your book and it's on the left side of your bedside and you put a bookmarker in there and it's just a little note saying, have a great evening. That's meaningful.
Ralph Griffo, the president of Serenade Resort, that means you're out of time for this hour. Stick on, got a whole lot more coming, but I only have one question for you. Can I get any points for this interview?
More ginger.
Oh, you're busted me. That was more.
You've been listening to Ion Travel with Peter Greenberg. Visit our website at www.petergreenberg.com for more information. And sign up for our newsletter. Ion Travel is a CBS Audio Network production.
If you expect more, you drive more at the Simpson family of dealerships. Now get spring savings on new Chevrolets, Cadillacs, Buicks, and GMCs. Stop by any of their freeway closed showrooms in Irvine, Garden Grove, and Buena Park. Or shop online anytime at SimpsonGM.com. Springtime is the right time to save at the Simpson family of dealerships. They're big enough to deal, small enough to care. Let your baby speak. Before that first tooth, wipe their gums with a washcloth. When those first teeth come in, use a soft toothbrush and just a tidbit of toothpaste. And take them to the dentist by their first birthday. Learn more at toothhealthla.com. Brought to you by the LA County Department of Public Health.
Southern California news.
Coming up on News Watch, LA County Sheriff deputies died while participating in the annual Baker to Vegas relay race. Meta and YouTube planning to appeal the landmark decision, holding them liable for harming a child, and looking more likely that there will be U.S. boots on the ground in Iran. It's 12 midnight.
It's CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting. I'm Christopher Cruz in Washington. President Trump says Iran is going to let 20 oil tankers pass through the Strait of Hormuz beginning today. The president said the American military could take control of a key Iranian oil facility. The BBC's James Walker from Tulsa.
It is likely that the U.S. could use Kars Island as leverage, but it's how Iran gets most of its oil. Because this war for the Americans is increasingly becoming about how the Strait of Hormuz is controlled. But it's one thing to take this island, it's quite another to keep hold of it.
Thousands of TSA officers are expecting back pay to be deposited into their bank accounts in just a few hours. That could motivate more of them to come to work, meaning an end to those hours-long lines at some of the nation's airports. CBS's Jason Allen has that.
As TSA workers wait for financial relief, travelers at major airports nationwide still brace for long security lines. How big of a nightmare did you prepare for?
I prepared for being hit
At least 500 TSA officers have quit since the partial government shutdown began in mid-February, kept them from being paid. On CBS's Face the Nation, White House border guard Tom Homan said ICE agents will remain in airports until more TSA officers return to work.
We're going to continue an ICE presence there until the airports feel like they're 100% in a posture where they can move normal operations.
Democrats and Republicans remain divided over ICE reform, which is holding up approval of funding for DHS and many sub-agencies. President Trump will allow a Russian tanker full of crude oil to reach Cuba. He said he doesn't mind the tanker reaching the islands because Cubans need oil to survive. In any case, he said, the Cuban regime is on its last legs.
Within a short period of time, it's going to fail, and we will be there to help it out. We'll be there to help our great Cuban Americans.
A dramatic last-second three-pointer by the Yukon Huskies sent the top-seeded Duke Blue Devils home from the NCAA men's basketball tournament Sunday. In the final seconds of the game, Yukon shooting guard Braylon Mullins passed the ball to Alex Carabas, who then passed it back to Mullins.
I had the ball, and I know AK was hit once. I threw in 4 seconds left, and he just threw the ball back to me. I knew I had to put one out, so...
On 173 to 72. This is CBS.
Go to the ends of the earth, half a world away. Reach for the stars.
It might take time to think. They might go get Brad.
On CBS, Sunday morning.
Newswatch 12:03. Good morning. I'm Art Sanders. Thanks for being with us. SoCal today morning, low clouds and fog. Afternoon sunshine, cooler with highs in the 70s. Bay Area cooler with clouds and sun. Highs topping out in the mid-50s. L.A. County Sheriff's deputies died while participating in the annual Baker to Vegas Challenge Cup relay race. 30-year-old Levi Vargas was an 11-year member of the force. He's in the trio traveled with the team this weekend. It says Vargas did about 100 new heat, ready to last.
Now, this team started at about 10 o'clock in the morning. It was about 4.5 hours into the run, covering about 1/4 of the 120-mile course, just a little bit short of the town of Shoshone when the deputy had this medical emergency. And he was pulled off the course. He was quickly taken by paramedics to the med base, and then from there was airlifted to a hospital in the Las Vegas area, and he passed on there several hours later.
L.A. County Sheriff's Department says it's shocked and deeply saddened by this tragic loss. The strenuous 120 miles. Special event designed for law enforcement personnel. Over 200 teams participated and spent months training.
The estimate for the average team coming from the city of Los Angeles, the county of Los Angeles, when it enters Baker to Vegas, they probably have to spend and raise on their own, no taxpayer dollars involved, close to $20,000 to enter this race.
Race has been held annually since 1985. The Camp Pendleton Marines accused of stealing a military missile system and selling it. Stolen ammo was discovered in Arizona and traced back to the California base. 2 million rounds missing, along with Javelin missile launchers. Charlie Laguerra is an international security consultant.
The Javelin missile system is originally designed as an anti-tank weapon, so it shoots out a large projectile to eradicate tanks on the battlefield.
Your Marine is formerly stationed at Camp Pendleton in custody after several investigators claimed he was stealing weapons of war, transporting military weapons, explosives, and ammunition. He pleaded not guilty to the judge, said that because he presents a slight risk of extensive disposal with evidence and possibly interfere with witnesses, he should be held without bail. In a National Times interview, President Trump spoke about the possibility of the U.S. taking Iran's oil and whether or not he'll seize the key fuel hub at Kharg Island. Meanwhile, Iran has accused the U.S. of secretly planning a ground invasion. Talked about the options with energy expert Clayton Trudeau at the Center for Strategic and International Studies.
We have a situation for energy security that's way worse than it was before the war began. Right now, Iran effectively controls the Middle East Gulf and decides which, if any, energy exports come out of the Gulf and reach world markets. And what's happened is Iranian cargoes have been able to slip through, make their way to markets, especially China, whereas everyone else's oil and gas cargoes that originate in the Gulf are paralyzed. And that's an intolerable situation for not just the United States economic security issue, but really for the global economy.
Is there a few ways to tackle the problem?
One of them, and we talked about a lot, is the potential for the United States to destroy Iran's oil terminal at Kharg Island. And President Trump was quite right. He said, at least for the time being, ruling out the destruction of Kharg Island, because that would do a terrible disservice to the Iranian people for many years to come. Another solution that's being contemplated is a potential military siege of Kharg Island, meaning landing ground troops onto Kharg Island to physically seize control of the oil. That move could be especially dangerous for our forces. It would put our forces in harm's way. It would be possible for the Iranians to fire on their way to Kharg Island, and once they get there, even from the Iranian Navy, regular artillery can rain down on the people, and they could also experience attacks from drones, attack drones, missiles. So I think that our troops on Kharg Island would be quite vulnerable.
You know, tell us to stay back the route is not on the northwest border.
Maybe the best of the journey would just be a blockade of outbound Iranian oil shipments far from Kharg Island, the Arabian Gulf, and even the Strait of Hormuz. I mean, a blockade could be established in the Arabian Sea, even the northwest part of Indian Ocean, and effectively halt all Iranian oil cargoes, much as we did when we took control of Venezuelan oil exports starting in December of 2025, before there was no option to use oil. That's the Indian ideal solution, because it would stop the oil sales revenues from making their way to Iran, but at the same time it would not nearly as much risk as they would be if they tried to operate inside the Strait and inside the Gulf.
Iran is building up its military defenses on Kharg Island.
approaching to 60. So we're watching that too. Hey, we're looking pretty good this morning for the ride on 5. If you're heading out of Anaheim and Orange County, northbound towards downtown LA, no need for road work or other complications. As we shift gears and check some Bay Area traffic, I do see a traffic point. If you're heading out to the Bay Bridge lower deck, this is setting up in the 3 left lanes heading at first at the entrance if you're heading out of the city this morning. With traffic, I'm Michael McGowan.
So let's check some temps in Los Angeles on the Miracle Mile, 69 degrees right now. Downtown San Francisco, 63. With their lot, Bank of Steel Restoration now offering $250 off any 250 repair route. Call 844-333-AIR. One-day treatment, life-changing results. Your hair guaranteed to grow. Yes, hair sucks. Warm weather has heat up termites running too fast. If you see termites are weak, over time to the infestation, it's time to call for typical termite for a free written inspection. The typical termite is treated nearly 100,000 homes and with an annual rating with the Better Business Bureau. Do a CCTV, then use storage oil and ultraset for treatment. No thinning, no move out, and no poisonous gas. You need to use consent and to stay home while you work. Call now for a 10% discount on termite services. I'll speak to your warranty and not pay famous cash financing on a free credit. Call 800-PACIFIC. 800-PACIFIC. It's Mike Vincent here for UCLA Law Group Accident Injury Attorneys. If you've had an auto accident, a slip and fall, an injury, or really any kind of negligence injury, or if you've been the victim of an assault, it's now easier than ever to get the injury help you need. Just call downtown. UCLA Law Group is California's top injury law firm, and they're available anytime you need them, 24/7. They're ready to review your case. It's easy to get in touch. Just text injury help to the number 40222. You pay nothing up front, nothing unless to win. You can also call downtown.com and search Mark. UCLA Law Group is here to help pay next listeners anytime, day or night. Text injury help to 40222. Injury help to 40222, or go to calldowntown.com and let them know you heard right here on Day Night.
With that parking, like the lead route east of F-Flight, downtown LA, lodges taxi number 282-476. My phone, downtown today, Los Angeles, California, 90013. Previous results, not guaranteed, same outcome. This act not constitute identified relationship. Data and SMS messaging rates may apply.
You could see any time making arrangements, especially here at the supermarket. BenefitCenter.org is a free website that helps you pay for food, medicine, and more. Visit BenefitCenter.org.
12:12 now, and you've watched the 2 top polling candidates in the LA mayoral race. Folks of the Pacific Palisades Democratic Club on Sunday. Big topic, the Palisades fire. And with Emory, here's Emory Valdez.
First, that city council member, Mr. Robert, is a member of the Democratic Socialists of America. What happened in and so it is clear that the city didn't prepare adequately for what was very clearly an enormous weather event that we were warned about. We didn't put out the Rockies fire, we didn't see the stories. Fire trucks beforehand. The aftermath has been chaotic and in many ways quite dysfunctional for residents.
Then current mayor Sharon Bass, a Democrat.
I do not doubt for 1 second that much more can be done, but I would definitely repeat the notion that I have not prioritized the recovery in the Palisades. One of the first things I did was issue over 13 executive directives, and a lot of the executive directives that I issued were based on direct feedback from Palisadians.
Bass is leading Robin by a small margin, followed by reality TV personality Republican Spencer Pratt.
Meta and YouTube say they plan to appeal the landmark decision holding them liable for addicting a young woman as a child. Karen Adams reports jury awarded the woman $6 million in the case.
Grand jury's attorney, Mark Lindley, conducted the verdict for the trial of Rock Medical Mark Zuckerberg and others on the witness stand. It also brought out parents who say their children died because of social media harm. They have their own cases pending, but they say their next stop is Washington, D.C. to demand that Congress pass to hold tech companies accountable.
We don't want any more loopholes in themselves. We don't want any more of them smoking big tech. Enough is enough.
Meta has been ordered to pay the bulk of the $6 million award since its paid.
Gas prices climbing nearly every day.
The DoorDash is rolling out temporary gas change payments for drivers who can't work. Drivers will log at least 125 miles a week at an extra $5. Get 250 miles at just $15. DoorDash says people are about $1 off per gallon. Coming up, we have more news, including Hail Mary scores box office this weekend. Very good. Big winner. Major crash in westbound Ontario. We'll get your traffic updates, detail that all the way right now. It's 12:15. Time to get to the sports desk. Each man lost the song of Buzzer Beaver. 76-72. The Huskies long three-day grab the lead. Only a few seconds left on the clock. Michigan alternating at times 180-17, 95-62. That means it's still at 1. Arizona, Utah, and Michigan facing the 15-degree heat. Baseball, the Astros, DPA, and Saints, 7. Time to turn right on the 8th row of the hobby. The keeping track of baseball scores on paper.
Many people are facing the habit of taking immediate defeat during the latest analog trend, which is the phone away and get back to physical media. Some in the baseball world have never fled from that school of thought. The art of scorekeeping, some consider a dying tradition, is still something you see as you take a look around the ballpark. But with the scoreboard telling you everything you need to know, why would you?
We're all kind of looking for ways to engage a little deeper. Keeping score lets you do that. It allows you to keep careful track and pay attention, which is something we don't have a lot of space for.
That's journalist and podcaster of The Defector, Kelsey McKinney, who says it's hard, but it's all about keeping your hands occupied.
It would be easy to sit here and take photos with my phone or check my phone to see what my friends are doing. We're used to reaching for our phone, and if you have to score, you need both your hands.
So it's courtesy of the Today Show, so next time you're at a baseball game, stop by Guest Services, pick up the score sheet, and watch them play ball. At the Sports Desk, Abby Curlett.
Now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by USPS Ground Advantage.
AI startup Thinking Machine just received a major vote of confidence as NVIDIA announced what it's calling a significant investment into the company, supplying Thinking Machines with processors in a multi-year agreement. The former chief technology officer for OpenAI is the co-founder and CEO of Thinking Machines and calls NVIDIA's technology the foundation on which the entire field is built. I'm Jason Brooks.
Borders rolling and bodies closing. Weekend with USPS Ground Advantage. You can keep up with content. Every package stays correct during this update document. So it's nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and unaffordable prices. You get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the route. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more. If you're on a small business, the pressure never lets up. Something's always coming. That's why business owners turn to lending for funding. I don't need promises. You need options. Lindsay today our platform is showing real funding choices. Now I can cover payroll, handle taxes, and go after growth opportunities without the daily stress. Up to $5 million. Funding and it's fast in 24 hours. No upfront costs. No prepayment penalties. Start ready, stay ready. Lendpeak.com. LENDSPEK.com.
My name is Christine, and I'm a widow. My husband Ryan was a healthy 34 years, and 3 months later, he was gone. Thankfully, he had life insurance. Ethos made it so easy. You can get 12 days seconds, apply a minute, and get same-day coverage. 100% online, no matter what. Life insurance is taking a lot, but it saves you
Get your free quote at ethos.com/protect. Ethos.com/protect. Check your traffic. We're facing a crash right now. The 10 westbound Ontario. Let's figure the latest on this. Here's Michael Mugali.
Westbound 10 and 4th. This is a major crash. We heard there were stingrays sideways in the roadway, and a bunch of other vehicles got tangled up in this one. So you will be hopping off here and scooting around the crash. There is the backup on that approach, but the other side is fine. Heading towards Claremont, Pomona, over to West Covina, everything's fine. Otherwise, on the 10, the only other hang-up as far as any detours to 10 or 15, the eastbound and westbound 10 ramps connecting to the 15 north and south are shut down for Caltrans roadwork activity. We saw a traffic break. We heard about somebody dropped in the roadway on the 110 heading downtown, northbound Fort Vernon. 3 left lanes getting toned off in that work zone. With traffic, I'm Michael McGauley.
Check the weather here. Morning, low clouds, thaws, SoCal, afternoon sunshine cooler. That's top out 70s to the Bay Area cooler with clouds and sun. High mid-60s showers, possibly moving in on Tuesday. Right now it is 12:20.
I think if you're at work now or even last year, you could still be owed serious money, and I can help you get it. I'm a 30-year Agro. My job used to be making sure injured workers got paid as little as possible. With a fat insurance company who get even richer. But I switched sides because it was the right thing to do. I know how these insurance companies work, inside and out, and now I fight for you. I've recovered as much as $7 million in a single case, and I've won many other workers' compensation cases. Give me a call right this second, and in 5 minutes, I'll tell you if you have a case. Your injury could be from stress, a construction site accident, a slip and fall, a heart attack, or a repetitive motion injury. It's worth to give you as many ways that you may still qualify. I'm attorney Mir Agrawal. Give me a call right this second. In 5 minutes, I'll tell you if you have a case. Call me now at 877-9778. That's 877-9778. 877-9778.
Well, 21 News Watch. I'm Mark Sanders. Good morning. We brought another easy box office win for the sci-fi epic Project Hail Mary, which has been a much bigger hit than anybody expected, thanks to rave reviews and great word of mouth. Where he finds a scientist played by Ryan Gosling being recruited for a desperate space mission trying to save humanity, and it lets you get his will.
I'm not an astronaut. I've never done space. I can't even moonwalk.
Project Hail Mary is expected to add another $64.5 million this past one weekend total, which is a remarkably small drop from its big debut numbers a week ago. Then the animated Disney comedy Hoppers will place a distant second with about $12 million, followed by the new horror comedy They Will Kill You, which was a very weak take of only about $5 million. Major initiative has launched to try to get the sport of soccer into every school in the country by 2030. Jennifer Hodgins reports.
Tens of millions of Americans are going to fall in love with our sport.
Jason Dawson is the CEO of U.S. Soccer. They teamed up with Bank of America and the Soccer Forward Foundation to provide soccer starter kits for schools, complete with curriculum, tools, and equipment.
And the U.S. Soccer Schools Initiative, powered by Bank of America, is all around making sure that when kids fall in love with a sport, they get to show up at their school, their community, and be able to play the game that they love.
It is a sport gaining in popularity. Jed McKee is the CEO of the San Jose Earthquake.
You just take a simple ball, bring it to the board for a game, and you can play that game anywhere.
Well, how can you tell the difference between something written by a human and something written by artificial intelligence? There are some telltale signs, as Scott Cohen reports.
I suppose that since the Google Gemini test keeps spotting the difference is getting harder, of course. But Laura Hall, a professor of English and linguistics at the University of Michigan and a real person, says AI still has some giveaways.
Human English moves back and forth between dense and plain detail. AI English is more consistently dense in every sentence.
To be fair, Gemini said something similar, but it put it this way. AI tends to write sentences of similar length and structure. Humans vary their taste, making short, punchy sentences with long, rambling ones. See the difference? Okay, but isn't AI going to get so good that we won't be able to tell? Not likely, it says, because studies show the more AI is learning, the more dense it's becoming. That means in many ways, they're getting easier to tell.
So I think there's always hope to be able to not only value the difference, but be able to see it.
Words to warm the hearts of writers and journalists alike. Take that, Jim.
One of the nation's top universities is diving headfirst into figuring out how to help not just students, but everyone to step back from their phones a little more each day. Jared Hill spoke to organizer Grant Callahan at New York University.
More Americans are trying to intentionally step away from their devices, and the recent survey suggests Gen Z is leading the charge. About 63% say that they're carving out screen-free time